Today, we are strapping in for a deep dive into pure, unadulterated player power.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a fascinating stack of sources here, and they're all focused on a certified legend of the open world genre.
Grand Theft Auto.
San
Right.
Andreas.
Exactly.
It's one of those rare games, you know.
Yeah.
It's just transcended its original platform. Years after its debut, it still has this massive, loyal following all over the world.
Right. And what do the sources say people love about it?
Well, they all pretty much agree. It's the sheer scale of the map, the story of CJ, and that compelling mix of really challenging missions and just pure sandbox freedom.
It's a game about struggle, right? And climbing your way up. But our mission today isn't just a nostalgia trip through Los Santos.
No.
We are zeroing in on the specific subject of your notes, the MOD APK version. This isn't just the game we all know.
Not at all. It's the game completely reframed. It promises like maximum gratification right out of the gate.
And the fact that this whole modification scene even exists says so much about the original, doesn't it? Oh, absolutely. The durability of the original game is the whole reason this phenomenon is a thing. Players love that foundation so much that they want to peel back the rules and just interact with the world entirely on their own terms.
It's sort of a universal desire for control, I guess.
In a simulated environment, for sure.
Okay, so let's unpack this idea of absolute control. What exactly is a MOD APK? And why does the source material suggest it offers an experience so radically different from what Rockstar originally intended?
To really get the MOD, we have to start with the APK itself. An APK, or Android Package Kit, is it's essentially the entire installer file for an Android app.
Right.
It has all the game assets, all the code, all the instructions. Think of it like the original game box, sealed by the developer.
So the MOD APK is like someone's opened that sealed box,
Yeah.
taken out the instruction manual, and just scribbled in a bunch of entirely new rules.
That is a perfect analogy. A MOD APK is a version of that file that has been, modified by a third party. They've gone right into the core parameters and adjusted them, often using things like cheat codes or exploits just to grant the player these immediate massive advantages.
And those adjustments, those are the core selling point.
That's it.
The material we have highlights that these files provide extra features designed specifically to make the game more fun.
Right. And when you look at how San Andreas is built, the fun here comes from removing friction.
Friction.
Yeah, in game design, friction is that necessary resistance. It's the challenges, the scarcity, the content you can't access yet. It's what forces you to actually engage with the mechanics.
And the MOD just gets rid of it.
Strips it all away. And when you do that, you transform this structured narrative experience into a pure sandbox that's focused entirely on immediate wish fulfillment.
And that gets us to the central promise in the sources.
Yeah.
Gameplay without limits.
Oh, exactly.
You are no longer following CJ on his desperate climb up from the bottom.
No, you're instantly given the resources and the power of a king.
It's a fascinating psychological shift, really.
It is. Because the players using the MOD APK, they aren't necessarily looking for a new story. They're looking for a new relationship with the world they already know and love.
They want to see what happens without, fearing failure.
Without fearing the wasted screen, yeah.
Let's get into the specifics, because this list really reveals where players felt the original game was most limiting. This tells us what friction they were desperate to delete.
And this list, it's like a masterclass in eliminating the core constraints that define the early and middle parts of the game.
First up, the most profound modification, I think, is unlimited money.
Oh, yeah.
San Andreas is built on this massive, kind of grimy, capitalistic foundation. Money dictates everything.
Everything. From the clothes you wear to the cars you drive, the safe houses you own.
So by removing that economic challenge, you're essentially eliminating the entire grind of earning cash.
And that grind is central to the original motivation. You commit crimes, you do missions, you take side jobs, specifically because you need the money to progress.
To customize CJ or buy better weapons and armor.
Right. And when you instantly have an infinite bank balance, all those immediate low-level motivations they vanish.
It's not just that you don't have to worry about rent anymore. You immediately become the owner of what? Every property? Every customized vehicle? It completely changes the whole atmosphere of Los Santos.
It does. You're no longer a struggling gang member.
You're an instant oligarch.
Exactly. It removes the entire simulation aspect of resource management. If you can buy whatever you want, the stakes surrounding your actions totally change.
So if you blow up a really expensive car, it just doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter at all. You just spawn a new one. It gives the player this economic dominance that, in the original game, was something you had to painstakingly earn over dozens of hours.
That makes the world feel smaller in a way.
Valor, but also more accessible.
Yeah, if your ultimate goal is to see every single piece of content the game has to offer, then eliminating that resource barrier is the absolute fastest way to do it.
And that ties directly into the second core feature our sources highlight: all missions unlocked.
Now this is a dramatic departure.
It's huge. The original game is designed for you to slowly, and let's be honest, often painfully, build up your skill and your knowledge of the world. And it's all gated by mission requirements.
Oh man, you just made me think about those infamously difficult missions.
The remote control helicopter mission.
Oh, that one. Or any of those tricky driving challenges. You have to pass mission A to even see mission B.
But by unlocking everything, players can skip right to the late-game content, or the most spectacular set pieces, or just the missions that have the most satisfying rewards.
So it lets the player curate their own experience.
That's the perfect word for it. Yeah. Maybe you've played the game 3 times already, and you only really enjoy, say, the San Fierro part of the map.
You can just skip the early Los Santos gang stuff.
And jump right into the territory you prefer. It favors instant choice over a, disciplined progression and the developer-mandated order of things.
But doesn't that fundamentally undermine the pacing? I mean, the game is designed to introduce mechanics slowly, to reward you for sticking with it.
It absolutely can, yeah.
If you access everything instantly, you're missing that deliberate buildup of CJ's capabilities.
And that's the core tension here, right? For the player who uses the MOD, the joy isn't in the journey of building capability.
The joy is in the immediate possession of it.
Exactly. The friction, that frustration of failing a mission over and over again, is seen as an obstacle to fun, not as a generator of eventual satisfaction.
So you're transformed from a participant in a story into a director of vignettes.
A director of vignettes. I like that. You get to sample all the best parts without doing any of the necessary narrative labor.
Which brings us to the third specific feature, the inclusion of practical cheats, specifically mentioning unlimited health or weapons.
This is the ultimate removal of personal risk.
Okay, so unlimited weapons means maximum chaos is always on the table.
And unlimited health means maximum chaos is always consequence-free.
It completely removes that heart-stopping moment when the police helicopter shows up and your health bar starts flashing red.
The threat of wasted is it's gone. And when you pair that with unlimited ammo, you have the ability to take on entire armies.
Or the entire Los Santos Police Department.
Without any fear of failure or even having to retreat.
So that changes the whole police chase dynamic. Instead of a challenge you have to escape, the police just become targets for experimentation.
That's exactly it. You can just stand in the middle of a street and see how many SWAT teams you can take out before you get bored.
The game world flips. It goes from a hostile environment where failure is a constant threat to an absolute playground.
A playground where death is just an inconvenience that means you have to reload a save. The source is absolutely clear on this. It says this entire setup is perfect if you want to try new things or just have fun without worrying about challenges.
So the result of these 3 features combined, the economic freedom, the chronological freedom, and personal invincibility, is basically a frustration factor of 0.
0. Instant access and unlimited exploration are the primary deliverables. You're immediately handed the keys to the entire San Andreas experience.
Okay, we spent a lot of time talking about the fun and the freedom, which is clearly the selling point.
It is.
But we need to pause here because all this extreme modification, this instant power, this limitless fun, it almost seems too good to be true.
And our sources suggest that is precisely where the necessary caveat lies.
You're right. We need to shift focus to the critical thinking required here. While all that fun is clear, our information consistently includes an essential caution.
We have to directly address the warning in the source material. MOD APKs are explicitly not official. This is the pivot point. This is where the enthusiasm meets reality.
And what does that mean?
Not official.
Because these files are unofficial, they carry an inherent and non-trivial security risk that the original developer-sanctioned game does not.
So what does not official matter in practical terms for you, the listener? We're talking about downloading a game file from some third party, right? Outside of the standard vetted app store.
And that's why the vigilance is so crucial, because you are placing absolute trust in the source that modified the file. There's no oversight.
None. The unofficial nature means there is no vetting by the original publisher or the platform owner like Google or Apple. When a user downloads an MOD APK, they are installing a modified instruction manual that could potentially be embedding anything else.
Like what?
From device slowing malware to data tracking software, all hidden right alongside the code that grants you unlimited health.
So the risk is much, much greater than just crashing the game.
Oh, yeah. It's a real security concern that attaches itself to that promise of limitless fun.
That's why the necessary step for safety is so heavily emphasized in the notes then. Users must always download from trusted sources to stay safe.
It is the only way to mitigate the risk associated with this type of file.
So it becomes a really critical trade-off. You maximize your fun and your freedom inside the game world.
But you have to simultaneously maximize your vigilance about where that software is coming from in the real world.
It's just an accepted caveat for players who are looking for this kind of unrestricted experience.
In short, the source material presents a pretty clear formula. If you love the framework of GTA San Andreas and you want a pure sandbox experience, the MOD APK delivers that promise of more fun and freedom. But this is only an advisable route if you are comfortable accepting the inherent risks of unofficial software and can confidently, verify your source.
That seems like a very balanced summary of the whole cost-benefit analysis here. We've established that the GTA San Andreas MOD APK is presented as a route to full player mastery.
Achieved largely through removal.
Right. Removal of money constraints, of linear structure, and of personal consequences.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the entire premise of the MOD APK is escaping the game's original challenges and limits. It fundamentally changes the relationship between you, the player, and the world of San Andreas.
It transforms it from a world you have to struggle to survive and succeed in.
Into a world that exists purely for your instant experimentation.
So it's mastery achieved through deletion, rather than mastery achieved through the painstaking acquisition of skill.
And this raises an important question, I think. It goes beyond just gaming mechanics and speaks more to player motivation.
Okay.
If the ultimate joy of an open-world game is the exploration and the eventual mastery of its challenges, that feeling of earning that powerful weapon or finally completing that infamously difficult mission,
Yeah.
what does it say about the modern player that the biggest appeal of the modified version is the complete removal of those fundamental challenges?
That's the takeaway, isn't it? Is the fun truly derived from the unlimited freedom to just roam around and do whatever you want?
Or is the process of earning those rewards, the journey, the struggle, the occasional failure, is that part of the essential gaming flavor that the MOD just bypasses?
When you eliminate all the friction, you might unlock immediate fun.
But do you potentially lose the long-term satisfaction that comes from genuinely overcoming obstacles? That's something, you have to decide for yourself when you explore the unlimited world of the San Andreas MOD APK.
A truly profound thought to mull over. Thanks for diving deep into these sources with us today.